Hi everyone, this is the first episode of Lunchtime at JYU. Today we're trying the Rentukka restaurant. Let's go.
As you enter Rentukka, before you enter the actual restaurant, there's the menu section here. And there are two menus, one in Finnish and one in English. And what you're gonna see is that there are gonna be student prices for different food options.
As you enter, first you have a salad section with a big variety of vegetables and everything you would want for a salad, dressings, and also milk for your lunch, which is a very Finnish thing. Yeah, let's go. I usually go for salad, cucumbers, a bit of carrots, but you also have other options every day, so they switch it up all the time. And here's also a water tap.
This is the main course section, where you're gonna get to choose between different diet options, where you can also take advantage of different food options depending on if you have a student card. You can take advantage of student prices. Hey Fru, how's it going?
Hey, I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. Just had an early start to the day. I was wondering, what did you do when you first touched down to Finland or Jyväskylä?
So when I first arrived to Helsinki, my plane landed quite late and there weren't any trains or buses that came to Jyväskylä straight. So I actually spent my first night in Finland at the Helsinki Airport until around 5 a.m. when the first train left for Jyväskylä. That was an experience, I have to say.
I had the same exact experience. I also had to stay over at Helsinki Airport for a night and then just take the bus. But I had to go to the bus station, which not a lot of people know about, but you can just look it up on Google Maps because usually there isn't anyone around to ask for directions. But if you go there, you get to take Omnibus, which is what I booked. However, the VR train is something that a lot of people miss out on because you can go directly from the Helsinki airport to the train station, then that takes you to Jyväskylä. When you touch down in Jyväskylä, which housing did you end up going to? Is it Soitu or Koas student housing?
I applied for both Soitu and Koas. You do have to do quite a lot of research. I mean, I would advise that you do. It's good to sign up for both. The apartments and the shared rooms go very quickly. I think I applied around June. I wanted to live in Kortepohja specifically, and I got an offer from both Koas and Soitu, and I ended up going with Soitu. First, I lived in a shared apartment with two flatmates. After the first semester, I switched to the studio.
Quite a lot of good tips as well for just landing student housing because you get student discounts and housing and those save up a lot of money. My tutor picked me up from the bus station. We ended up actually picking up the key together, but not knowing that I could have emailed them beforehand and permitted my tutor to pick up my keys, just so I wouldn't have to stay an extra night somewhere else and pay extra money. Then I got to my apartment. I just stayed at my apartment and tried to figure out, okay, what's next? What do I need?
My apartment or my room was completely unfurnished, so I spent the first 3 days hunting down furniture. I guess not just the student community, but the community in Jyväskylä. They had flea markets, a lot of secondhand stores, also a bunch of people giving away furniture or kitchen items. Furnishing the room and the apartment was quite quick, actually.
On the topic of lunch, since we're having lunch, do you usually go to student restaurants or do you cook at home?
I love to cook, but when you get really busy with classes and you have to be at the university all the time, it's much easier to just go to one of the student restaurants. We have at least 5 student restaurants on campus. So, what about you?
I actually tend to cook at home sometimes because I really like cooking, but I usually don't have time for that, as you said, because you have so many classes and things like that. So I tend to cook over the weekend. Actually, on the topic of tutors, when you were getting tutored in your first year, what kind of activities or what kinds of things did your tutor do for you, with you?
So I had an international tutor who came to pick me up from the station. helped me get to my apartment. She showed me some parts of the campus where I had to go for Finnish class and showed me around the center as well. When we got to orientation week, my department, music and science, does a very different type of orientation week. So we had it like tailored to us, not for the general JYU student orientation. So I got 2 new tutors who were also in my department. We spent the week exploring Jyväskylä campus, the music buildings, all the resources that we have here, and just getting lunch every day and hanging out. It was honestly very exciting and very fun. What about you?
The reason why that's funny to me a little bit is because I had a very interesting tutor experience. I was actually matched up with 2 tutors at the same time. And this is very interesting because not a lot of people, I think, have been through that. I had a tutor who was specifically for my program, so they already had tailored events and things to do with regards to my program. But then I had another kind of private tutor where they just took me around the city as well, and there were a lot of overlapping activities with that. So like the private tutor it seemed like the private tutor was more so about, hey, the personal stuff, like, hey, where do you buy these kinds of things. The program tutor was more so about how do you get your studies in order. I was quite surprised that the university had these many resources, just one student with, and that's something that I really admired. It was a great experience. What was your first class that you took? Because I know what my first class is. Do you want to start that out?
Yes, I know exactly what the first class was. We did a Finnish course together for international students. The first 3 weeks, I think we only had Finnish classes 3 times a week maybe. And then university officially started. And that was one of my favorite times of being here. It was so fun. That's where we met.
That is absolutely right. That is absolutely where we met. I remember one of the very first activities that we did was we literally went around the city and we just started exploring different things in Finnish, and we started naming them in Finnish. How did you feel now taking the first class in your program, music and science?
We had mandatory classes and then we had suggested classes. I think one of the first ones I took was contemporary issues in music research, which was a very interesting class. Multicultural communication classes as well, because my program is bilingual. They don't have a Finnish version or an English version. Half of the class is international students and half of the class is Finnish students.
But I actually share that very same thing. I'm in digital marketing and corporate communication, and the Finnish and international students are mixed together. It also just pushes people to connect more and just talk a lot more. I was very excited on starting my degree when I saw what I was about to learn. When I took these very first few classes of the mandatory ones, I was very excited.
So in Finland, most student restaurants and buffets are self-serving. So you take your food, choose whatever you like, and you also take out your food.